Hey, Sooner football fans, this is your Sooner Football Fans podcast. Hit the subscribe button right now so you don't miss a single episode. The Sooners beat up on the Bruins this past weekend, 49-21. Me and Rob give you our takes on the game, the Rodney Anderson injury, the offense, and have me and Rob started drinking the defensive Kool Aid. And we have Bill Sloan from South Jersey, known on Twitter as NJ Boomer Sooner. He came to his first Sooner game this weekend. We invited him over to the podcast Palace to sit down and tell us about his first Sooner game experience. Sooner Football Fans is not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Boomer. Hey, Sooner Football fans. You got Terry and Rob here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
And the Sooners coming off of a 49-21
nice win,
skinning of the Bruins. It's the only thing I could think of. You skin a bear. The Bruins a bear, right?
Okay. All right.
So, let's see. The Sooners racked up 485 yards of offense, 306 in the air, 179 rushing. Kyler Murray was 19 of 33 for 306 yards. 3 passing TDs, 69 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns rushing.
Not a bad day.
Not a bad day.
Not a great day, but not a bad day.
No. Let's see. UCLA, they racked up 380 yards of offense, 254 passing, 126 rushing.
Yeah, but
yeah, it was.
They had 160 total yards in the middle of the third quarter.
Right. It was a lot less than that going into the fourth quarter, and probably a little ways into the fourth quarter.
Probably. And I got to be honest with you, the takeaway that I had overall was that the D it's different.
Right.
We're not drinking the Kool Aid yet, but it's different than last year. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. It's different than last year. It's a lot different
Which
than
is a good
year.
thing, because anything's better than what we had last year.
Right.
Well, not anything, but
Yeah. We could have been worse. Well, first off, let's jump into Rodney Anderson.
okay.
Ended the day with 6 carries, 19 yards, and was, walked off the field, walked back out on the field with a brace on, and no reports from the Sooners as of the moment we're recording this podcast.
Let me say this, okay? I love Rodney Anderson, don't get me wrong. I love Trey Sermon, don't get me wrong. But Trey Sermon is not Rodney Anderson.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry, he's not. He's a great back. Trey Sermon is, if Rodney's out for any length of time, Trey's going to do a great job.
Right.
But he is not Rodney Anderson.
Correct. Well, first off, like you said, the defense. Overall, Rob, what did you think of the offense? You start off and I'll...
Okay, yeah. So overall, I think, Kyler, he threw some great balls, but he also threw some mediocre balls. So,
right.
He threw some high stuff that, if you're playing a great defense, may get picked. So, he threw one pick, which was, he's throwing some kind of 50-50 balls out there. Which I'm not I'm not opposed to, throwing some 50-50 balls. That one was caught in the end zone, but that other one was picked off deep. I think he did a really good job. He's calm. He's not I don't see him jittery back there, getting the
right.
quick feet. So he's a quarterback first and a runner second, which I think is really important. I think you got to be a quarterback first and a runner second, or he's going to get, he's going to get hurt or something. But there were some great passes right on point, but there were some that, just he's still throwing that crossing route behind, was it CeeDee Lamb that had that
right.
reach behind catch, which was fantastic,
right.
by the way. But you throw that out in front of him.
It's a whole different story.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah. Well, here's my take from the offense. They were methodical, I thought. There were no really huge, big plays, which I'm not opposed to. But they moved the ball consistently.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I don't mean to interrupt you. Did you ever feel like we went into a vanilla package?
Yeah, early on. I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought. I still don't think there's a lot of this running game that we've seen.
Yeah, you're probably right. But we stayed out in the spread a lot. I thought maybe the formations, he was testing those out or whatever. But maybe it was more vanilla than I realized, because I'm definitely not an expert.
And here's my reasoning for the vanilla, because I got irritated early on in the first quarter and part of the second quarter. Those zone read runs, I'm wondering if they're actually zone reads or there's no read. It's a handoff.
Uh-huh.
Because Kyler Murray did not keep the ball very often on that zone read.
Yeah.
And there were times.
Well, the times that he did were both touchdowns, right?
Yeah, but there were times that it was like wide open over there. So I don't know if they're trying to save him, keep him healthy. We're just not going to, we know that if you keep it, you're going to go for 10 or 15 yards. I don't know, but I just know after a couple of times of watching it, I was watching that edge, and it was wide open over there. Even if the guy was reading it and was out there, it's Kyler Murray against a 280-pound defensive end.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Kyler Murray getting to the edge or juking somebody.
You're not grabbing hold of him. And you know what else I like? I like that he's sliding.
Yeah.
First time we don't need any injuries.
Yeah.
And we especially don't need him hurt. So I like that.
And he's sliding smart. He gets to the first down marker and slides. If there's 3 or 4 guys in front of him, he slides. There's no reason, to, like you said, to mess around and get hurt.
Yeah. He's so quick
for an extra 3 yards when you've already got the first down. So that's my take on the offense. I thought they were methodical. I kind of bother. I'm with you. Kyler Murray is as calm as anybody I've seen in the pocket this year. He doesn't. His feet aren't moving around. He's not jittery. I watched some of the playback or some of the ESPN, and they talked about even on ESPN, he's going through his progressions to 3 and 4 receivers.
Yeah, and he's not always hitting that check down, which I like.
Right.
I really like that. CeeDee Lamb averaging 21 yards per reception, by the way.
Yeah. And, Caleb and I were talking about that this morning. Everybody was all, oh, my gosh, all we've got's Hollywood. CeeDee didn't catch anything last week. Duh. Here we go.
Yeah. No, he's an outstanding receiver.
Yeah.
Big body, too.
Yeah. 7 catches. And like you said, big body, because when he had to get the ball in a crowd, he's the one who came out with the ball. Let's see. Hollywood had 4 catches for 88 yards. Calcaterra had 3 for 26.
Looked good doing it too.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I like Calcaterra.
Running backs: Pledger 45 yards, Sutton 33 yards with a TD. Sermon had 13 carries. He didn't have, 13. I think 13 yards. Yeah, I may have wrote that down wrong, but Sermon is, I think, your big back. He's not gonna.
Yeah, he's a workhorse.
Right, and like you said, he's not Rodney Anderson.
He's not Rodney Anderson.
We were hoping that maybe that gap was a little bit closer.
Yeah, I think you can win with him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, we don't have to just rely on him, because Sutton is showing that one run that he had where he went down to a hand and
in the end zone.
Impressive, super impressive.
That was one of my favorite plays.
So yeah, I think the backfield. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be without Rodney Anderson, but if we have to be without him for any length of time, I think the backfield, those 3 guys, and I don't know why we're not seeing Kennedy Brooks any at all.
Right.
But it's very, very good. I think.
Yeah.
Those 3 can rotate and
just rotating them through there.
Absolutely.
Which is really what we've always done anyway.
Well, are they going to continue to run Pledger? Are they going to redshirt him? Probably depends on Rodney's injury.
Yeah. So, another bit where the offensive line didn't give up a sack.
Yeah, and he had all day.
Oh yeah, there were
most days. I mean, most plays.
Yeah, there were times there were fans sitting around us that were run it, and I was like, no man, he just needs to stand back there and find his receiver.
That's right.
And don't run it until you have to.
Because if he takes off running, it's going to take away that to some degree.
Right.
I mean, if he only does it when he absolutely has to, it's going to be a big play every time.
Right. So, big question. They talked about it this morning on ESPN or late last night on their final deal. Do you think Oklahoma offense is good for 50 points every game?
Well, I think we're still a little too early, because how good is UCLA's defense? I think it was a lot better than Florida Atlantic's.
Right.
I still think that we did pretty much everything that we wanted to do. They made us punt a few more times, obviously, than we did at Florida Atlantic. But we still moved the ball pretty much at will, I think.
Right.
And it really just depends on how much vanilla we were, because I couldn't really get a good read on it.
Right.
I know we stayed, we like on Florida Atlantic, they went to that zone read just like,
yeah,
that was all we were running.
Yeah, that was it.
So there was a lot more passes, and they opened it up some, but I don't know, how much or to what degree. So it's really hard to say, but I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but the athletes that we faced Saturday were much better than the athletes we faced against Florida Atlantic. So it was a little closer game, but I still think we kind of had our way with them.
Right.
And largely due to that offensive line.
Right. And the game, not to toot my own horn, I kind of said the same thing. It was.
Yeah. Wait, did you call the score exactly?
Oh, pretty close. Which reminds me, we do need to pull the scores up. Where did I put the scores up?
I was thinking you got it. I thought you hit it right on the head, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, I will have to look that up, Rob. Geesh, I may have.
You're close. If you didn't.
I think I was 45-24, and it ended up 49. The reason why I asked the 50 points question was because that's what ESPN believes.
I don't know.
That this offense is going to be good for 50 points.
Well, and I mean, if you're talking about our schedule, then yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe TCU can.
Well, we came pretty close to it last year. I mean, averaging 50 points a game. And what a luxury, and we're going to get into the defense here in a minute, but what a luxury that is having an offense that will give you 50 points as a defensive coordinator and as a defense. Because all you got to do is hold your opponents to 40, or to 49.
Okay, I don't want to do that.
No, but you see, I mean, it was a good point. I thought because they went into talking about Oklahoma's defense being what appears to be much improved, but they have this huge cushion of an offense that you don't have to do much as a defense. But before we get into defense, I want to run into special teams a little bit because Sooner fans are loving some Shane Beamer.
Almost got us another punt block. They were close.
Yeah,
they were close.
Now, that I think it was at the coaches Rudy show that they brought that up, and he really said that Beamer's not the special teams coordinator. We're all involved in it, and he's brought some ideas to it.
Well, whatever he's done has worked. Whatever they've done has worked.
But any special teams play last week at Florida Atlantic game, or for the half that I sat in there and baked like a potato, and this one, every special teams play, you heard people all around, that's Beamer ball. Yeah, that's Beamer ball. So everybody's loving them some Shane
getting
Beamer.
The credit, isn't he? I don't know if it's his tag, but
special teams have looked much, much, much improved. Punt return, kickoff.
Who's the guy that ran that 65-yarder? Was that Barnes?
I think Barnes. He's number 6. I know that, wasn't he?
He was flat out moving.
Yeah.
And then he just ran a straight line. I was like, whoa, man, that dude is moving.
Yeah, so the special teams added their little kick to it. I was kind of hoping we'd get at least a punt return for a touchdown.
We were close a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of times. But I mean, the offense did what we expected. They dropped it. They dropped up. A half hundred. We're going to say a half hundred.
Yeah, they
49.
probably coulda.
Yeah, took care of their business. Done what every Sooner fan has been expecting the last couple of years, and that's just score, and that's what we did. Yep. Right.
Well, and there were several plays there where they opened up just giant holes. And I'm like, okay, obviously we're going to see that play again, and we didn't.
You're right.
So I think maybe he was like, okay, I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah. For future reference.
And so,
But I say if I'll watch the game probably again either tonight or tomorrow, or watch some playbacks of it or something. But it just really seemed to me like Kyler, it was not an option for him to keep that ball on the zone read on every play, because I'm telling you, if it would have been,
he would have had more.
He would have had a lot more runs, because there were several times when Anderson was he would hand it, and I was like, look, the edge is clear. Yeah. There's one guy out there. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then it hit me. Okay, it's not a zone read. It's a zone handoff. Yeah. That's what they're doing. There's no need for him to keep the ball.
Well, what I kept looking for, and I don't really remember seeing any, was we have the fastest receiver in the nation, or at least one of them, right?
I think the fastest person on a football team, period. Are you talking about Hollywood?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
So why aren't we throwing him some bubble screens or some pump and go?
Well,
or,
I still think, like you said,
wheel route.
There was a couple of times, even in this game, I think that's a timing thing, the over the middle. It's a timing with him and Kyler that just isn't there yet. I mean, he threw it behind him across the field once in this game, once against FAU. Baker did last year, hitting him across the middle against Oklahoma State when his come out game. Mm-hmm. I just don't think the timing's there yet because he is so dang fast.
Yeah, well, we got to find plays that isolate him one-on-one with a corner.
Yeah.
Because they're just not going to stay with him, and if we can get him deep with one-on-one, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Kyler's got plenty of arm to make that toss. They're probably always keeping a one-up safety over the top of him. I mean,
you're going to have to.
You got to.
Right.
With that kind of speed, you just can't leave him out there.
But then you had this game, they're going to have to pick their poison because then you had CD out there. Going deep, catching it, looked like a net. I mean, was everything that came to him.
And then Calcaterra.
Yeah.
So there's a three-headed beast at least there,
right.
Receiving the ball. So you got to play. I mean, they're not always going to be able to double up on Hollywood Brown. They're going to have to play defense on everybody, which I like because that just means more for everybody.
Right.
I mean, CD Lamb is not slow.
No, he's not.
So if the safety stays over there on Hollywood Brown, I mean, he's going to have opportunities going deep. And since, really, I don't know, that may be Kyler's best throw.
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Just let him launch that dude.
Just let him launch it. And
CD's 6'2", so if he gets out there on a smaller corner, just throw that 50-50 ball. I'm okay with it because he's going to go up and get that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, now let's get into the pitcher of Kool Aid for a little bit.
Okay.
Stir it up. The defense. I'm with you. The defense looked a lot better.
What was your biggest takeaway, though?
Okay, here's what I'm going to read some numbers.
Oh, he's got some notes.
I got some notes because I sat here and watching the game live, which is so much harder than watching it on TV because you're being at a game. It's the experience. You're really not getting to watch the game. Mm-hmm. I love watching it sitting at home because you can pay attention a little bit more. You don't get into you don't look up at the fireworks going off or anything like that. But here's some numbers. Mark Jackson, 10 tackles, 4 solo, 1 for loss. Kenneth Murray, 9 tackles, 5 solo, 2 for loss, and 1 sack. Curtis Bolton, 8 tackles, 2 solo, 2 sacks, and 1 tackle for loss. That's our linebacking core.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means the defensive line is doing its job.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that means.
They are making. Those were the top 3 tacklers on our team. Number one, it means the defense, like you said, the defensive line is doing their job, keeping our linebackers free. And number 2, it means our linebackers are doing their job and making the tackles where they're supposed to be made.
Right.
In the hole, a yard or 2 in, whatever. Okay.
Hey, I want to say this, though. Their quarterback, I was impressed.
Yeah, he wasn't no slouch.
He did okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't seem that intimidated, and, he stayed in the pocket when he could and threw when he could and took off when he could.
Yeah.
I like that our defense just smothered.
Mm-hmm.
We were there. We were in the holes. The defensive end stayed home.
Every time the ball, every running play or there were 5 or 6 red hats around it.
Yep.
Every time. And, Mark Jackson had the most tackles, but I'm telling you, Kenneth Murray is a beast.
Yeah,
that dude.
Absolutely.
Did you see him on that option play where he had the pitch back and he was behind where he was supposed to be. He was right in line with the tackle, the play side tackle. Coming out, the guy got a block. He got a hand on him, and when they made that pitch, he got a hand on that the tackle coming out to block him. Basically, stiff armed him and got that guy 3 yards in the backfield.
Yeah, They're quick.
Yes.
I don't think anybody's going to run outside, or not very easily. They got that shut down, and really, you're not going to run up the middle much.
No. I mean,
it's a different defense than it was last year.
Swarming, they attack, they blitzed more.
It's exciting.
They're staying in that 4-2.
The receivers are covered.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Are you sure we're not drinking the Kool Aid?
We're not drinking the Kool Aid.
Are
It
you
just
sure?
looked really good.
I feel like I just took a great big old drink of Kool Aid.
And I'm going to say this too: 6 sacks in the game. And I know people are going to come back with it's UCLA. They're not that good. I'm telling you guys. I mean, I'm just saying this. It's not just the competition. You know, I love listening to him talk. I think he's an old Oklahoma State coach, but Pat Jones has some of the best one-liners. But you get 6 sacks in a game, that's good against air.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, any team you get 6 sacks on,
especially with a highly mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
So he didn't have anywhere to go. I mean, I think he's pretty quick, and he was trying to get out.
And there was nowhere to get out from.
Nowhere to go, shut down.
Right.
Which is, that's scheme.
Right.
And we've been talking about they're always out of place last year and this and that. This year, it's the scheme is on point.
Right. They're staying in, and that's my point about the ESPN analysis last night was this offense is going to give you 50 points. This defense is improved. Okay, I'm not going to say much improved. They said much improved. Improved. And what a luxury to have is an offense that's going to give you 50 points because you just got to be average. Really was the point they were making.
Well, that's what we were last year.
Right. Yeah. We were a little below average.
We were a little below average, okay.
67 ain't average.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So,
well, how many teams are there? How many teams?
115, something like that.
151. So at 67, yeah, you're right. That's below average.
Yeah. So, point being though, the defense has looked better the last 2 games. They look better, and I'm just going to make this point is they look better the first game than they did the first game last couple of years.
Yeah.
They had a little bit. I'm not going to say. I want to say tougher competition, more athletic competition, and did basically the same thing as they did the week before. They shut them down. I'm not concerned with the 21 points. One of them was in mop up time.
Yeah.
I like how they reacted because UCLA scored first, and that was it for basically the rest of the game.
Yeah, the ones pretty much shut them down after that,
right?
Until late. So, and like I say, we were talking 160 total yards there late in the third quarter, and 65 of that was on one play.
Right.
So, and it was just a great play.
Right.
I mean, they would have did that on anybody. So.
Yeah. So it's I mean, we've had some people talk about. I've seen some posts where the defensive backs were out of position. They got burnt, on some plays. That's going to happen.
It is going to happen. We're not going to be 100%.
Right. It's going to happen. I heard a commentator talk about the other day, and even watching a couple of games of NFL today. There's always somebody breaking free. Mm-hmm. Very seldom do you ever have somebody covered. Mm-hmm. And they either hit him, they don't see him, or they overthrow him. It's just that simple.
Right.
And you're always going to have somebody break open. That's the whole,
So this year, part of the difference is we're getting a pass rush.
Right.
And so when somebody does break open, if that quarterback has got to break and run, he's not going to see that open receiver nearly as often as if he's sitting back there with all day to throw the ball.
Right. Exactly. So, but it's kind of offense and kind of defense. Okay. But did you see big number 94 Troy Jones out there?
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? That 4th and 1, I mean, he got his guy, but I'm a little depressed that we didn't make that.
Yeah.
We didn't make that first down.
But that gives us a 6'1", 304-pound fullback. That's a big boy. And that first touchdown, I think it was the end that Rodney had, that he was out there. the end that came around the end wanted nothing to do with him.
Well,
he came up and you could tell he was like, up, white flag.
Yeah. I don't want to get run over either. Big rhino running at you.
Yeah, but hats off to Troy. I mean, I love when stuff like that happens. I'm wondering if there's going to be a play at some point in time where
think they're going to give him the ball.
That he gets the ball.
He's going to get the fridge. He's going to get the fridge carry.
So, but that's cool, and I like it. I mean, it had it was kind of like we had the belldozer a couple of years ago, but that was because we were ineffective in the red zone.
Pretty much, yeah.
But this is just a set that they bring a big, hoss of a fullback in there, which kind of tells you we really don't have a big hoss of a fullback like we've had in the
strange.
back.
We got that 6'5" kid. What's his name?
But he ain't 304 pounds.
No, that's true.
But maybe we just don't have that aggressiveness of a fullback in that position, so he puts this big aggressive defensive lineman.
Well, nobody wants to meet him in the hole.
No, not at all. But also, before we jump into our opponent for next week, what do you think about the number 5 ranking this week? We moved up a spot.
So we just leapfrogged Wisconsin?
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I don't know. I think right now it looks about right. Honestly, I don't see anybody beating Alabama.
But except Oklahoma.
Clemson, Clemson didn't look – They didn't look very good.
Yeah,
they didn't look very good.
And you're going to have, it is in College Station. I don't care. I mean, you're the number 2 ranked team in the country, and everybody's been hooplawing you.
And that quarterback they got, man, he's pretty good.
Yeah. So they almost got upset. I think until these top 5, 6, 7, 8 teams start to get into the meat of their conference play and stuff, Oklahoma and Texas, even though, Texas sucks still, but we'll talk about that a little bit.
Got beat by Tulsa. Yeah. They almost got beat by Tulsa.
Almost got beat by Tulsa.
Oh, my gosh, that would have been so hilarious.
We still got TCU. We got West Virginia, Alabama. They've got the Southeastern Conference. Do they play Georgia every year? I don't remember.
No.
They don't. So they'll have to get past Georgia probably. They'll have to get past Auburn. And those 2 teams are not slouches. And I'm sorry, ESPN, I'm going to say it now. I know you don't listen to us,
right? But
you cannot put 3 teams from the SEC in the playoffs, and you shouldn't put 2. So just that simple. You can't do it, But, they're going to have a rough go at it. Ohio State, they're going to have a rough go. They got TCU next week. Now, TCU looked like crap in the first half.
Yeah, let's hope this whole last week TCU spent all of that week and all this coming week on Ohio State.
Because they said Gary Patterson stopped practice early on Friday because he was mad. They weren't executing. They weren't paying attention.
Really?
And they looked like they weren't in the first half of that game. Second half, they came out and took care of business. But
they better focus because they got a big game coming up.
Ohio State is also, they've got Michigan. I'm not sure who else they have on their Big Ten slate, but the rest of these teams still, the rest of this top 5 have a lot of games to go, and so anything can happen to make the shifts around. I honestly think, and I rightfully so, is that the media and coaches are doing the same thing that Terry and Rob are doing. They're not drinking the Kool Aid yet.
Not yet. And rightfully so. I mean, we, last year we were less than mediocre. So, we got a lot to prove. So
yeah. We come out next week and shut down the Cyclones, Army.
Iowa beat them, so that's not going to prove any point. If we come out and if we beat Iowa State, 45-7, they're going to say, well, that's what you should have done.
Then we got Army. Then we got Texas.
Yeah.
And then we got Baylor before Texas. We got Baylor before Texas, and then we got TCU. I think after TCU is when you'll see Oklahoma make some bounces. If this defense holds up and we win like we've been doing, that's when you're going to see people go, okay, they've beaten, UCLA. They manhandled UCLA. And whatever else happens, if we win the rest of those games up through TCU, then you're going to see the recognition come to Oklahoma, I think.
Well, did you see what Florida Atlantic did? That quarterback, Chris Robeson, whatever, he put up 500 passing yards on. I don't think they played anybody.
Yeah, but still,
500 passing yards, and he looked good doing it. So.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're right. We're not going to get any respect until probably after Texas.
I think after TCU.
If we keep playing the defense that we're playing now, then somebody somewhere might say, hey, that defense is better.
Yeah.
And if the offense keeps scoring points, that's the same offense. So now you better look out because we're going to be deadly.
Yeah. Well, which brings us into the Iowa State game. We got to go up to Ames, Iowa, take on Matt Campbell's Cyclones. Now, Iowa won the game 13-3, so I went to look at stats of the game today to see what happened. And I thought, first off, I was like, how in the world was there only 13 points or 16 points scored in this game? Well, it's because I was looking at last year's stats. I was like, Iowa State's offense put up 169 yards, 188 yards, 169 yards passing, 19 rushing.
Ooh.
They gave up 166 yards passing, 105 rushing, 271 total yards. Okay.
To a really bad Iowa team.
Right. Now, it just was, I don't know what you take of all of this. For one, Iowa State, their first game against South Dakota was canceled because of weather, so they're not going to replay that. So they had an extra week off.
Yeah.
Should have been an extra week to prepare.
Yeah.
But it looked pretty inept against, so.
Yeah, I think they probably lost a bunch. I really don't know if they did or if they didn't. It could be the exact same team we played last year for all I know, but
yeah,
I assume they probably lost a bunch, of talent. And
well, here's the kicker though, that concerns me, is their quarterback Kyle Kemp was 15-21 for 126 yards, but he went out of the game and has a dinged up ACL, and they're not sure if he's going to play, which means Iowa State.
Another backup quarterback. Hallelujah. Oh, boy.
Could bring in another linebacker.
Water boy. Let's get the water boy in here.
So, I don't know what to expect. The Cyclones are going to be pumped up. That they're already talking about that it's going to be that bowl of a stadium thing that they have there with the berms and everything is just going to be overflowing.
Will it be though?
That's what they're saying.
What are they getting? They're probably not getting a whole lot more than for instance Oklahoma State. Who's getting,
I think
Oklahoma State putting in the fans like 30,000.
I think they're saying that stadium holds like 40,000. But they're just saying that it's going to be filled to the brim. They have that berm section that is
right.
like general admission. I don't know if they count that in their seating, but it's going to be, they're going to be wanting to prove last year wasn't a fluke, and their fans are going to be wanting to see that last year wasn't a fluke.
So what do you think? Was it or was it not?
It was a fluke.
It was a fluke because we're going to go in there and we're going to really spank that booty. I think we're going to beat them up pretty bad. Yeah. I really do. Because I just think that, you give guys that love to play football a reason to play.
Right.
They're going to just play it much better. So I'm sure they're getting told all week, this is a team that, almost put you out.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. I hope a good one that's just a spanking.
Well, here's the thing. If this defense holds true, Iowa State doesn't have a chance.
Right.
If we keep playing defense like we've been playing, there's 2 games in a row now that I think everybody nationwide has been impressed with the defense.
Right.
Because they're swarming, they're tackling, there's no arm tackles going on. They're in the quarterback's face. They got the receiver shut down.
Yeah.
It's almost a miracle.
Yeah. So we will see. Let's recap the Big 12, Rob.
Okay.
And see what happened in the Big 12. Oh, let's see here. TCU 42-12 beat SMU.
On, SMU though.
Yeah. I think it was only like 14-12 at halftime though. So And good Lord, we kind of knew this was going to happen. Mississippi State 31 over Kansas State.
Yeah, is Kansas State just really, really bad?
I think so. I mean, I think they're riding the Bill Snyder train as long as they can. He's become such a beloved coach now that I even like him a little bit. I think it's time that they need to get some fresh blood.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, I think Mississippi State's probably decent, but good grief, they got blew out.
Yeah. Tech, 77-0 over Lamar.
I hope they feel good about that one.
Yeah, really. Good job, Tech.
I mean, Alabama doesn't even beat them that bad, right?
I don't think so. Let's see. Iowa, of course, beat Iowa State 13-3. West Virginia 52-17 over Youngstown. Baylor.
You can't glean any information off that win from Youngstown State.
No,
that's ridiculous. Play somebody.
Baylor beats University of Texas San Antonio 37-20. Our little brothers, the Cowboys, beat up on South Alabama.
They finally found a quarterback. I guess that kid's going to be starting now, right?
Yeah.
But apparently that back from, I don't know where he's from. Weird name, something Chumba Woomba.
Yeah.
Apparently he's pretty quick.
Yeah, well, they beat South Alabama.
Yeah, big whoop.
Let's see. The team that beat Texas, Kansas, upsets Central Michigan.
Central Michigan was favored, I think, weren't
yes, they were.
By like 3 or something.
And it's the first road win in like 3 or 4 years.
I mean, how do you lose last week to an FCS team or whatever they're called now,
and then come up and beat Central Michigan,
who I thought was a pretty good little team?
Yeah,
I definitely picked Central Michigan to win that one.
So Kansas, the team that beat Texas, gets a win. Good job, Kansas. Thanks for not pulling us all under. And then then Texas.
Okay, what a joke is going on down there.
28-21. Have you heard what Tom Herman said? Why they came out and played so bad in the second half?
No, I didn't hear.
Because he was too hard on them at halftime.
What? Oh my gosh, this guy. You know what? He needs a guy, like that holdback coach
for Clemson.
Yeah. He needs a guy to say, shh, stop, don't say that.
They need to get him a shock collar and just, shock the guy. I read that today, and I about fell out of my chair laughing.
What, they didn't get to go down to their safe room after he yelled at them? OMG.
So I guess it's that part of that, what is the new training or the class that they have all the...
testosterone, no.
Male, I can't think of what it's called, but femininity training or something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But I guess he was too hard on them, so they couldn't come out and throttle Tulsa. They should have been throttling Tulsa before halftime. So he should have just went in and said, I love you guys. Keep trying really hard, and we might
give you all a kiss.
And they would have beat them worse.
He really said that?
Yes.
That he was too hard on them, and that's why they didn't?
Yes. They didn't perform in the second half because he was too hard on them.
Well, all right. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one. So
28-21, though, and they were not impressive. Those 28 points, that was not impressive at all.
No. So that's your Big 12 roundup from the the conference that everybody says sucks.
I mean, we besides Oklahoma, we got 2 teams that have half a chance of being any kind of good.
West Virginia and TCU.
Yeah.
And as much as we hate to admit it, we need Texas to be better.
We need them to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, good grief. You need to blow out Tulsa 67-12 or something.
Right.
And, 28-21, that just tells me Texas has got 5 more losses coming this year.
Yeah, they got problems.
5 or 6 more. I mean.
Yeah, and I'm like you, and I think a lot of people, if they would have lost that game, they would have probably drug him off the field, after the game. I don't think he'd have lasted through the rest of the week. Seriously.
Yeah, you might be right.
I mean, Caleb said there was somebody that posted something where he was trying to pump up the crowd, and I guess they either booed him or they just didn't respond.
He's getting booed already?
Yeah, I don't think they booed him. I think they just didn't respond to him.
Okay, so let's pick this then for Texas, all right? Next week, USC.
They're getting slaughtered.
Getting slaughtered, okay.
Slaughtered.
Week after that, TCU.
Slaughtered.
Week after that, K-State.
Yeah, they'll probably win that game. I don't think K-State's very good this year.
All right, let me get
next game, slaughtered.
Let's see. Well, give me the whole schedule. Okay, here it is. Week after that,
slaughtered. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. The week after that, they got Baylor.
They'll probably win that.
Okay. They got the Pokies.
Where at? They're here.
Let's see.
Pokies will win it anyway. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
So that's at. So yeah, they're at Oklahoma State.
Pokes will win that.
West Virginia at Texas.
Slaughtered.
And then you got at Tech.
They'll probably win that.
And then you got Iowa State.
They'll probably lose that.
And then at Kansas.
They'll lose that one.
So what was that? How many was that? 4 wins that we just gave them?
Yeah.
4 wins?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. All right, so loss at Maryland. They beat Tulsa. Loss at USC.
That's 2.
Loss at TCU, or TCU at Texas.
Yeah.
They're going to beat K-State.
Yeah.
They're going to lose
to us,
obviously. They're going to beat Baylor.
Yeah, they'll probably beat Baylor.
Okay. Pokies.
West
Virginia.
We said loss and loss. 7 losses. We're predicting a 7 loss. Do you agree with that?
I think that's I think that's pretty close. So if they go all right, so if they get slaughtered, if they really get slaughtered by USC and then TCU beats them up and then let's just say what do they got after that? Kansas State. If Kansas State somehow beats them, dude, they could go winless.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, if they get beaten down by USC, that may be it for this team. They may just, pack it all in because Tom Herman's going to be too hard on them at halftime, too hard on them between games. I mean, they're just going to be done. So
I mean, they could go 7 losses. They could go the whole season.
Yeah,
they could go 0 for.
Yeah.
How awesome would that be? Oh my gosh, we would ride that.
Yep,
forever.
But y'all need to be better, Texas. We're not rooting for you. We're just telling you need to be better.
They got to be better.
You sorry pieces of.
I mean, seriously, if they call themselves a blue blood, and they do,
yeah,
and I do. I mean, I consider them blue blood program. They have got to be better.
All right. So, what we're going to do tonight on tonight's podcast, we'll let y'all know this tomorrow. We'll be doing a podcast with Iowa State podcasters from Big 12 group of guys that do stuff or do podcasts. But we're fixing to have waiting on him to get here to the Podcast Palace, as Rob has deemed it. A gentleman who follows us and we follow him on Twitter, and he came to the game yesterday and came up to the tailgate, and it was really pretty cool. He came up to meet us, visited with us for a little while, brought his wife, but he's from New Jersey, Bill, and he's known as NJ Boomer Sooner on Twitter. But him and his wife came in. It was his first game at Oklahoma, first trip to Oklahoma.
I wonder. Well, I guess we'll ask him.
Yeah.
But hopefully everybody was hospitable.
Yeah, and he spent a little time at the tailgate with us, and it's going to be here until tomorrow. And for some reason, I didn't think about it then, but I was thinking about it this morning. Was what a great person to have on the podcast. He flew down to see the Sooners for the first time in Norman. And so we've asked him to come in to sit down with us in the Podcast Palace, or in the Podcast Palace. We're just going to call it the Podcast Palace, Rob. That was a good name for it.
I like it.
And share his Sooner stories and share his experience with us. And I'm going to see if he had the reactions that I told him he was going to have during the game. So,
all right.
But we're going to get him on here, and that's how we'll finish up the podcast. But let's get Bill in here. All right, Sooner fans, as promised, we have sitting here and what Rob and I or actually it was Rob's idea. I wanted it to be called, we were trying to figure out their podcast studio or podcast room, and
it's the podcast palace.
Yeah, it's the podcast palace
minus the M&Ms.
Man, you like M&Ms? Don't lie, Rob.
I like to eat them. I don't like to stare at them.
So, but yesterday, like I'd said earlier, and if y'all been following us on Twitter the last couple of days, a fan came by, a Sooner fan came by the tailgate and introduced himself, and he had said on Twitter he was coming and was going to stop by. But he's from South Jersey, and we're going to find out what that's all about, too. But we've got Bill Sloan all the way came in from South Jersey to catch his first Sooner home game, and we're glad to have you here, Bill. So we're going to start it off the right way. Boomer, Bill.
Boomer, Terry.
How are you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Okay. Oh, good. So we've been kind of talking here beforehand, and like you said, you're going to get questions that you've answered all weekend.
That's fine. That's fine.
So
at least I got the answers to them.
So South Jersey, first off, how'd you become a Sooner fan?
Growing up, I was always a big college fan.
Yeah.
In the 80s, the Sooners were really a rocking team.
All right.
So you grew up in South Jersey as well,
sir,
then?
My whole time.
All right.
My whole life. And I really wasn't a big fan of the NFL game.
Right.
College football, to me, is just night and day.
Right.
The
Us
excitement, the passion.
Yeah, us too.
So, I don't know. They had the swag. That's what caught my eye. And Boz and all those guys, it just got me hooked.
Right.
And they had an exciting team. They ran the wishbone. The defense was like lights out all the time. Hurting people.
Right.
So, from then on, it's been nothing but Sooners.
So, started wearing the crimson and cream way back then.
Yeah.
So, are there many South Jersey fans or Jersey fans, or either or, Sooner fans? Or
there's a few. I keep trying to get people to come watch a game with me. Nobody's getting back to me, so I'm sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings by myself, screaming at the TV.
Whoa! Do you go to Buffalo Wild Wings for every home game?
No.
Oh, man! Just every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we go to Buffalo Wild Wings every Thursday
yes,
night.
Sir. Yeah. One of my traditions at home is I put on my Sooners shoes.
There you go. Yeah.
Sneakers, and I stand up the entire game.
You
You ask my wife; she'll testify to that. I don't sit down. I scream and yell.
Really? Yeah. Well, then it sounds like you were somehow raised here in Oklahoma.
A little bit.
That's,
yeah.
All right.
That's how. That's pretty much how we all are. So overall, I mean, as far you brought up the defense in Bosworth during that time. What's your favorite Sooner?
I say Boz.
Boz.
Yeah, Boz and Baker.
Boz and Baker.
They both have that passion. I remember it was just that recent play with Baker running. I guess it was TCU running into the end zone.
Yeah.
Get off me.
Yeah.
Get off me. I got this. Get off me.
Right.
Who do you think you're trying to tackle? Get off me.
Right.
And that passion just gets me hooked.
Yeah. Well, those are two of the most passionate guys we've had. Most emotionally and passion. They showed, I think, the most emotion of anybody. Now, before we go on to more Sooner stuff, because we got plenty of that, the story, Bill was hanging out at the tailgate, and I was introducing him to some folks, and I said, he's from New Jersey, and he spun around and looked at me and was like, South Jersey.
That's right.
Like I felt like one of the Sopranos.
Yeah, the Sopranos have a little bit to do with this story. I'm going to tell you.
Okay, so tell us what's the difference in Jersey, South Jersey.
All right. Well, New Jersey is like divided in north and south. The north is very urban, very developed. South is country, farms for the most part.
Okay.
Laid out suburbs of Philadelphia, but there's two distinct different parts of the state. And when my sister was getting married, she was marrying a guy from Virginia. Her family was afraid to come to New Jersey because she thought the mob was everywhere and there was crime was like everywhere and you couldn't walk the streets. They were afraid to come up to New Jersey.
Okay.
And my sister sat down with him and said, listen, there's two parts of New Jersey, north and south, and we're in a good section of New Jersey.
Right.
And they came up and they saw it and it was like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's like country living.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
See, learned something. I didn't know that South Jersey or New Jersey had.
But
country.
don't go to North Jersey.
Don't
right?
go to North Jersey.
No.
The Sopranos will shoot you in the face.
Yeah. I just try to stay out of North Jersey. Just like New York City, I try to stay out of there.
Yeah. Well, Now, you came here. This is your first trip to Oklahoma, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, your first Oklahoma. Tell everybody, again, this is stuff that Rob and I and probably a lot of Sooner fans take for granted because we see it. We've seen it our whole life.
Yeah.
Being around the atmosphere. Tell everybody what you did yesterday and why. Kind of your day as you went about.
All right, so I had to bug my wife to get up early and get out of bed. And that took a half an hour. I'm like, we can sleep on the plane. We can sleep tomorrow. Just today, just get up. I want to get rolling. I was nervous. I didn't know how the bus was going to work with the park and ride.
Right.
We got there, a good time, and we had enough time. We took the shuttle up, and we had enough time to walk around, meet you and everybody else at the tailgate, and it was just flowing. It was just no problems at all.
So where'd you go after you left our tailgate? Where did you?
We went inside.
Oh, you went to the inside?
Because I was getting nervous. Yeah. People were telling me, like, last week there was lines and lines and lines of people, and some people turned around and didn't get in the stadium. Like,
oh, yeah.
I didn't come all this way not to get in. So
or to be late. Right?
Where were your seats at?
105 on the 50-yard line.
105?
Upper deck.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
pretty good seats.
Wait, 105, that's on the east side, right? Was it?
West side.
It was behind the Sooners bench.
Yeah.
Okay, so
west
you're on the
side.
west side.
Yeah.
Upper deck.
Yeah, the old upper deck.
Okay.
So
up in front of the boxes.
yeah.
That's a pretty good seat up there.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Did you, when you first, like I told you, if you had vertigo, when you first walked out of the tunnel, did
Yeah.
you like, holy
A little bit. Just a little bit. And I said, that's not too bad. I mean, I've been to NASCAR races, been to Talladega.
Yeah.
Sat up at, up high, but it was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
So, I told you a couple of things would happen, okay? And because I even got chills telling about it. When the Sooners, when the band stops playing that kind of intermission there between the band, finishing in the game, coming out, the crowd starts the Boomer Sooner. Did every hair on your neck and arm stand up?
Yes, sir.
Tear up a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. And
He's a true Sooner fan.
He's a true Sooner.
I was looking at my wife. I'm like, I can't even speak. I'm like, I'm getting teary-eyed. I'm like,
Very cool.
I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah. He's doing it right now.
I can't believe I'm here. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. I'm finally here.
Yeah.
And was there a flyover?
No, there wasn't a flyover. I think it's because it was too overcast. I mean, it was.
There will be for the Army game.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one will be pretty cool.
B-2 bomber.
Yeah. You think so? Or do you know so?
I don't know anything.
Rob doesn't know
If
anything.
it's any inside information, can you share with us?
I can't share it.
Is that because you don't know or you can't?
It's because he doesn't know. You've heard of, you're from South Jersey and you've heard of the Sopranos. There is a the Sooner Sopranos that we don't rob.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Okay.
They like their surprises. And who am I to ruin anything?
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's nothing happening before the Army game, right? Nothing.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Okay. I see the gleam in your eye.
Ooh,
There's something.
That reminds me. There's something I got to tell you after we get done here.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Sooner fans are going to be really happy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, what'd you think about the stadium and atmosphere
That was
first?
fantastic.
Really?
Fantastic. Out of this world.
Did it look like what did they say? 86,000? Did it look like 86
Yeah.
or did it look like 96?
Now it was all the way packed.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And before it was like about an hour before the kickoff. There's nobody in the seats.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, just wait.
Yeah.
Just look around now. All these empty seats, they're going to be full.
And then it'll fill up.
Yeah. And the people are coming in, just before kickoff. And, I said to her, aren't you glad we got here and we could sit down and relax?
Yeah.
And not have to worry about fighting the crowd to get to our seat.
Yeah.
We're just sitting down, relaxing, taking everything in.
Yeah.
And then
It was awesome.
20 minutes later, you were packed in like sardines.
Oh, no. We got lucky because there was a few empty seats on our
Oh,
row.
really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
You got a good view of the water tower to your left up there.
Yes, sir.
And Headington Hall to your right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty nice
Yes.
view right there.
Beautiful.
And they just finished, painting the old water tower because I don't think they'd painted that thing since the 80s.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
been a while.
it was silver and
Yeah,
old
sort of
red
silver.
and white.
They did a great job on that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
far
it's
as water
nice.
towers go, but,
Yeah. But,
Well,
and everything around the stadium too.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
it's a
campus.
beautiful,
I
beautiful
mean,
place.
Yeah.
And it definitely is the palace on the prairie.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Rob, one time we went up into the crow's nest, which is like the very top of the stadium,
above where you were sitting.
Okay.
Where they film from.
Right.
Yeah, don't go up there.
Yeah. We were noticing the guys, not behind us, but the guys on top of the scoreboards at either end of the end zone.
Yeah.
We're like, how in the hell, man?
I'm out on that deal.
How in the hell?
Yeah, you could strap me down and hold me there, and I would still be afraid I was going to fall. I mean,
How many drinks does it take to get me up there? I don't know. I don't do enough liquor in the world. But.
So with the whole game, other than, because we're going to get into some game stuff here in a little bit and what you thought about the game, but of the whole experience during the game, what was your favorite part other than the Sooners winning and dominating and all that stuff?
Like a play on the field?
Play on the field, or just seeing it, again, because and most of the people, well, I'm not going to say most of the people, a lot of the people that listen to this, they're from Oklahoma.
Right.
Or most of our listeners are Oklahoma, Dallas, or they're at,
Right.
I really want to just know, the first, because I remember my first game as a kid, and I'm sure listening to you and seeing how you were talking about it, you were just like a kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And trying to soak it all in.
We just want to know what, from your perspective,
what soaked in, what you're like, man, I'm never going to forget
the total
this.
atmosphere. And I know, like, you chant, when the kickoff's coming up.
Yeah.
All the little traditional things that you do.
Right.
It's just outstanding. It's out of this world.
And again, also about the stadium, you see the stadium on TV, seeing it in person, it's completely different, and it's massive.
Yeah. we just walked around it this afternoon, and my wife's like, "You're lost?" I'm like, "No, I know where I am." "Oh, we're going to get in trouble." I said, "No, we're not getting in trouble. We're on the outside. We're just walking around, walking around the stadium, taking everything and taking some photos, and just gorgeous."
Yeah. And that's one thing that, when we had Paul Miliazzo on, we were talking about it after and before the podcast, is used to, in the 80s, 70s, you could walk in the stadium.
Wow.
It was open to the public.
Wow.
You could walk in, walk around it, walk out on the field. About 2000, they stopped that, and that's when they put the laser lights, the
security system
on, and you can't go in it, and then they finally locked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not a big fan of you getting in there.
I saw the practice field. I peeked my head through the opening in the gate, and then I saw the lock at the bottom with the big chain. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think so.
Did you go in the Switzer Center, though?
No, that's closed.
Oh, it is?
It's been closed all weekend. That's a big bummer.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
You missed out.
I know. That's my first stop when we got here. We drove over there, and
you got here Friday?
Yeah, Friday.
Wow,
morning. We drove over there and got up to the security guard and goes, "Can I help you?" And like, Barry Switzer Center closed.
Dang, that's just ugh.
Yeah, because there's not very many schools that have as many trophies visible as we do.
Yeah. Well, when do you leave out tomorrow
morning?
Oh, okay. I was going to say you might try it one more time, but
no, I got to get back to reality. Go to work on Tuesday.
Yeah, the Switzer Center. I haven't actually been in it yet. I went in the old one, and it was don't look at me like that. I haven't been in it yet. So
wow.
I thought you did.
No.
So they got a great big computer screen in there. It's like a big screen TV that will show you what the locker rooms look like, what the pool rooms look like, the weight room, all that stuff. Wow. I mean, you can't actually go in there, but that's pretty cool. And it's a 360, thing.
Yeah,
awesome. Going on. So,
but
I also heard that they have the camera that takes your picture.
Yeah.
With all the trophies, right?
Yeah, you stand up.
That's what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
And behind that is all the rings.
Wow.
All the Big 12, all the Big 8, all the national championships. They're all back there.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's one of the big features that they showed on ESPN and Fox, is that you when you come in, you stand there and you tell it you give it your cell phone, and it takes a picture of you and puts
it to you.
Yes, I seen Marty Smith tweet that he went there. I'm like, why can't I go there? You let Marty Smith in there. He knows nothing about Oklahoma football, and I've traveled all this way, and I can't even get into this place. Come on, you give me a break.
Exactly. I agree with you. I mean, they should have known. The guy should have known from your accent that he should have went. How far did you travel? Is this your first time here? Yeah. Okay, we'll get you.
Wait, what accent?
I
hear some accents, but I don't hear mine.
You know what I was just thinking, Terry? All those rings that we got in there, and I mean it's a bunch,
right? From
all the Big 8 championships, all the Big 12 championships, all
Big
the
6.
bowl. Just think about Oklahoma State; they got one ring.
Wow.
Hey, come look at our one ring.
Yeah, come look at it.
Sorry, we like to kind of.
That's why we keep it going, man.
We got to pick on the little brother.
Yeah, because we always like to say is that we're playing both of the national champions, 1945 national champions this year, Army and Oklahoma State.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking we're only playing one true champion, and that's Army.
It's Army.
Yeah.
Of course.
When you got to buy a national championship, and that's just not right.
Not right at all.
Poor guys. But,
Yes, seen a fella walking around today, had an orange shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did a double take. Like, what are you doing here, dude?
Yeah.
Delivering pizza.
Cleaning rest areas. Yeah, I remember when I first, I was a youngster. I'm, early 20s when I moved to Norman. It shocked me that there were Oklahoma State fans that lived in this town and Texas fan. I was like,
wow,
what the heck? Why would you live here?
Right.
Move away.
Even if you were, why would you even advertise it?
Yeah, even better
hide
question.
your face somewhere.
Yeah.
So my sister and brother-in-law are Oklahoma State fans, but my brother-in-law's brother wrestled at Oklahoma State.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
I mean, I can see them being Oklahoma State fans.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, well, I really can't.
No,
But,
That's a great wrestling school from what I hear.
yeah.
No
yeah, I think they are. Yeah. And
They say they are, and
well, they're
Yeah.
fixing to get rid of wrestling in the NCAA altogether, probably. So.
probably. But
There's only like 30 schools doing it now.
yeah, I
Wow.
think the Big
Really?
12 only has like 6 teams doing it now.
Or 4, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But so Rob and I kind of went over the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into some X's and O's if you want to, a little bit
Okay.
about the game. Oklahoma racked up 480 yards of offense. Kyler Murray was 19 of 33 for 306 yards, 3 passing TDs, 69 rushing yards, and 2 rushing TDs. What do you think about our offense?
I think we got spoiled with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid had a great game.
Yeah.
I would say a B
Yeah.
game. But there was, I'm looking at guys that he was missing.
Yeah.
Throwing the ball too. I was like, we got spoiled by Baker.
Right.
But no, he did a great job. I think the offense is doing great. I was really upset when Rodney went down.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one if he doesn't pull
From
around.
what I hear.
Well, we're hearing 2 different sides.
Oh, you are? Because I only heard one side.
Rob was looking at something earlier that said that
Some stuff out on Twitter said it wasn't nearly as bad.
not nearly as bad, that he may not miss much.
Oh, awesome.
But on the other end, you're hearing, he's probably gone. So, my deal is that he came back on the field, street clothes and a knee brace on. Usually when you rip up something bad, you don't come back out on the field and walking.
Yeah.
If they let you back out on the field, you're on crutches. And,
Right.
And I hope it's nothing bad for him because, man, that guy's had nothing but terrible luck to be.
Absolutely.
He probably qualifies for a medical red shirt.
that I would think so. I mean,
I don't know how all that works,
but
or he may have already had that. Huh?
he broke it. Then he broke his back.
His neck.
Broke his neck.
Yeah, and his leg.
And his leg. Last year he hurt his shoulder. Was out for several games, and now this year a knee. And they're nothing. It's all fluke. It's nothing. It's not like a.
That play wasn't really that hard of a hit or a big twist or anything.
It's like Jason White,
running the corner and out went the the ACL. But I mean, I think you're right. Oklahoma fans were spoiled with Baker.
Well, we just really don't have any idea how good he was. I mean, I think we're getting a picture of it now.
Right.
But I'm going blank here. We had him on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, Rob, a former player. Just went.
Palmiliazo?
Nope. After
PJ
him.
Mills?
Nope. Before him.
God,
This is embarrassing.
who did we have on before him?
He's on the radio. Anthony Fogel.
Oh, Fog Dog. I'm sorry.
Fog Dog. Sorry, Anthony. We just went. Me and Rob are old. Okay. One of the things he said when he was on the podcast is, Sooner fans got to remember, this ain't Baker. As phenomenal of an athlete as he is, he does not have the intangibles that Baker brought to the game.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that he develops them because he's playing at a high level. I mean, don't you agree? He's playing at a high level.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's early. There's some timing things I think that he's got. I mean, he's missed Hollywood Brown across the middle a couple of times, throwing behind him.
That's what I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah. Well, part of that's because Hollywood Brown's so damn fast.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had there there was a older lady sitting next to me, and I whispered to her. I said, "I need to tell you a secret." And she looks at me. She's like, "Okay." I said, "This is my first Sooners game."
Oh.
She goes, "Oh, really?" And I said, "How many games have you been to?" And she said, "Hundreds."
Hundreds.
And I said, "Well, when did you start coming here?" 1966.
Jeez.
I said, "Oh my Lord." And then she started telling me how the stadium changed from that time to this time and blah, blah, blah. I was like,
big changes.
I was like flabbergasted. It's like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, just the changes since 2000. Yeah. I mean, it's been mind-boggling what the amount of money that has gone into that thing.
Yeah, we saw a picture today of the old stadium before the ends were closed in.
Mm-hmm.
In the store, and I showed my wife. I said, "Look, that's what it used to look like."
Yeah,
you see
that old squared-off horseshoe. It was it wasn't even. Well, it was a U, and made like a U, and it was like the OU. It was the beveled corners, and they had some bleachers before. In the end zone, and then they threw up the...
I was actually standing out there when they started tearing the top of the south end zone bleachers off. So, before they started construction. So I seen it from, Yeah,
because that was the weird thing is that the south end zone was taller than that. They cut it about in half, wasn't it? They cut it in about in half, and I don't understand why they did that other than... I don't know. I mean...
To put those suites up there.
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, money. But... I mean, from the even I've been a fan since the 70s, and and if you watch the the scoreboard when they did the what year was it? Yeah. 1981 was the year that Oklahoma put turf on, and and then it was the terrible turf.
That's nasty stuff. That's nasty stuff.
But one of the cool things about if you'd have been there during that period of time and could have gone onto the field, okay. And I'm trying to think. We were talking to somebody. It may have been Paul about it, but the dome on that, the crown on that field, was massive. Okay. It was. If you looked across the field, you could see the other team from the waist up.
Okay. Yeah.
You couldn't see them all over there because they had that crown built up for that wishbone, and the term going down. And they used to talk about it on TV, going downhill,
running downhill.
Yeah, the wishbone going downhill. It came from Oklahoma because you were running downhill coming around that corner.
Home field advantage, right?
Yeah. And then when Barry left, and obviously we went into more of a pass run type offense. It was known that Gibbs and Oklahoma they would water the field down before games because they weren't as fast on offense. It was to slow the other team's offense down. Sure. They would water it down. Yeah. It could be 110 degrees in an Oklahoma home game, and you can see the field's wet. Why is the field wet?
Those were the dark ages. We don't talk about those.
But
those 10 years.
But no, but I mean, I think we're missing Baker, but the weapons we have. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Saturday. Marquise was average, but an average Marquise.
Still better than most.
It's still better than everybody.
And you know what? There was a guy sitting next to the older lady I just told you about from UCLA. Mm-hmm. And there was a kid on UCLA. He's very quick. And he told her he has like the high school record in California in track or something.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, where do you see Hollywood? You want to see fast. This kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's got some wheels, lightning. Boy.
Oh, yeah. They had it. Lincoln Riley gave away free tuition, semester's tuition to anybody that come out of stands and race them, right?
Yeah,
so that spring game.
It wasn't even close.
That was a safe bet.
Yeah, safe.
He went ahead and gave it to the kid anyway.
He gave it to him anyway.
Yeah. He did. But was it a 10 or 20 yard? I think it was a 20-yard head start, wasn't it, or a 10-yard head start?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know.
Yeah,
one of those, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered.
Gave him a 30-yard head start.
But the pressure was on Hollywood.
No, yeah.
If you lose,
imagine if he'd have stumbled and fell. I mean, oh man,
you'd never hear the end of it.
But no, I mean, I think the offense isn't missing a beat. We're no. The mistakes that Kyler does make is overcome by the talent that he has. I brought up something. I want to see if you agree with it. Did you think, we're running these zone reads like we always have, that either they're not zone reads, they're zone gives, because Kyler wasn't keeping the ball nearly enough, in my opinion, yesterday. There were times that edge was open for him, and he was handing the ball off, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And then it hit me. Yeah, there's no reason for him to run the ball.
No.
They're doing a zone give. You're going to give it. We're gonna make them stay in that. But like Rob said, I think both times we ran it and he kept it, we scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
So,
But I think might be the thought behind that is they don't want to get him hurt.
yeah, no reason right now to, the game's in hand. We're handling, everything's going as but and I said it last week when Lincoln said during his press conference is that there's still so much of this running game we haven't done yet. I still think there's a whole bunch of it.
Yeah.
So if that is a zone give, then that is a vanilla playbook.
And I think we were. Do you think we were vanilla yesterday offensively?
And I think he has it in the back of his mind. He doesn't want to show too much.
Right. Until
he has to.
Until he has to. Right.
And he may not have to until until the playoffs. Or, I don't know, maybe Virginia.
And what do you think about West Virginia? I mean.
I'm still, I know, they've got 2 wins. I'm still going to hold off on drinking the West Virginia Kool Aid too, because they've been supposed to step up the last 5 years in the Big 12.
Right. They've never beat us,
and they've never beat us. They've ended up, being average at the end of the year. Right. So we'll just see what happens. Yeah. They're looking good right now. I think TCU looked good in the second half against SMU, but I think there was just a lot of stuff going. I mean, apparently they had like an hour-long rain delay, and they just weren't in it. But now defense has been the topic of a lot of fans. Rob and I, we've coined the phrase "drinking the Kool Aid." We need to trademark that. But we had 6 sacks. Obviously, the defense is playing better at this point.
Yes, hallelujah.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Is the defense better, or is you still in the wait and see mode?
Do I think that it's better?
Yeah.
I think that is better.
You think that is better?
Yeah. I think there's some better players out there.
Better players, better schemes, I think.
Yeah, Curtis Bolton.
Yeah.
Murray.
Yeah, Murray. Murray is a beast.
He's a stud. Oh, man.
All them guys back there.
But we were talking about it. I mean, here's the thing. We brought it up earlier. Mark Jackson had 10 tackles. Kenneth Murray had 9 tackles. Curtis Bolton had 8 tackles. What that tells you is that our defensive front is doing the job.
Right.
They're keeping the offensive line off our linebacker.
Right.
And then that our linebackers are doing the job because they're making the majority of the tackles.
They're making the stops.
Right. That's a good thing so far.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, because we don't want them getting back into the secondary.
No.
And having to make a tackle back
and
there.
They're not getting back into the secondary. So, the team is looking better. I'm still not going to I can't buy into it. I bought into it the last 2 years too early.
I was going to say I've been down this road before too many times, right?
I mean, we've said it before. The Ohio State game last year, everybody was like, "This is it." I mean, our defense is back, and
Yeah.
The next week, Baylor comes in 0-4 and just lights our defense up. So I don't know. Until we get past that TCU game, I think I'm just gonna
pump the brakes a little.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and go. They look good. Kenneth Murray is a badass because that dude can run people down, and when he gets you, he hits you.
He destroys you.
Listen, nobody's going to outrun us on the corners.
No.
They're just not. We're quick out there.
No. But and my favorite play and my favorite set of the week was big Troy Jones lining up in the backfield, number 94. Mm-hmm. And you got to love it when they put a big hoss back there and give him a chance to just get a run at somebody and
blow somebody up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like the fridge.
Yeah. And we're wondering, is there going to be a play that they hand him the ball?
I know where you're going with that.
I would love to see him do like an option to him. That would be even better.
Oh God. Rumbling, stumbling,
pitch it back to him and say, "Go, big boy."
Do a goal line dive.
You don't want to see.
Everybody's going to get out of the way. You ain't diving on me today, son. I'm getting out of the way.
You don't want to see a big 300-pounder running.
Yeah. You can have this touchdown. I don't want this pain.
Yeah. So now we got to talk. We've talked a little bit about Oklahoma State because we hate them and they deserve all of our hate. Texas. Did you hear what Tom Herman said? We already talked about it, but I want to get your take on it.
He said that something about
coming out of halftime of the Tulsa game.
He said that they're young or something.
He was too hard on them at halftime.
Oh, okay.
Guys,
that's good.
That guy's smoking crack.
Keep babying him.
So, do you have as much hate for Texas as we do, or
I always
does
know
the hate kind of stop at the Oklahoma border?
I always know that no matter what the records, no matter how you're ranked, one team could be 0-5, the other team could be 0-5.
Right.
It's a war.
Yeah.
That game is a war every year.
Right.
Everybody's out there hitting.
Yeah.
And there's no let up.
What do you think Texas is going to do next week against the Trojans?
I think they're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
they may need to take their safe room with them.
Yeah, they beat Tulsa 28-21. They should have lost.
If they had a kicker, right?
Yeah, and Tom was too hard on them, or they were really won bad because somebody needs to tell him shut up. I mean, just quit talking.
I seen him running in at halftime trying to get the crowd pumped up.
Yeah.
And everybody's like sitting on their hands.
Yeah. Yeah. Why would we? It's Tulsa. We shouldn't have to get pumped.
He may not make the season. I don't know how. I don't know, but
you gotta see what his buyout is.
Yeah.
Oh, they got plenty of money.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Texas has got money.
Second richest school in the nation.
Yeah. But it's I don't know, Texas. It's fun because we get to make fun of them more now.
Do you buy into the notion that a good Texas is good for us, or?
Oh yeah,
we do.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want them to be good. Right. I think this is hilarious, but Texas needs to be good. If it was us, Texas, TCU, and West Virginia, this conference would be, by far the best conference. Right.
But if we have to keep carrying the whole conference, it's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
I mean, I see personally. That's a good topic. I mean, I see if Oklahoma, if nobody else steps up, if it's just Oklahoma and TCU this year and maybe West Virginia and Oklahoma and TCU next year or maybe West Virginia, this conference may just implode and just go, hey, look, SEC, but, we can't carry all these guys. Yeah. It's a burden on these big schools.
Yeah, just take who you want and leave the rest.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants Texas.
Yeah.
Because of the big Texas network or whatever it's called.
They won't give that up. And Texas wants to have the say in, whatever, which is what I was extremely proud of President Bourne. Was it last year when they weren't going to give Baker the Big 12 wasn't going to okay his year.
Yeah, eligibility.
And, his eligibility. He basically told them that, look, we're carrying this conference. Right. You either wake up and approve this, or we're going somewhere else. Yeah. I mean, it was just that simple. He didn't say it like that, but that was the implications of you stand up and give us this, or Oklahoma's going to take our toys and we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, everybody wants us. Like the SEC would take us, the Pac-10, the Big Ten. Everybody would take us.
Right. Everybody didn't want to take Texas because Texas comes with too much, crap.
Well, now from what I've heard is we're holding the hand of Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
We want to take them wherever we go.
Yeah,
but nobody wants.
Yeah,
they want us.
I mean, the more I think about that, I think from Oklahoma's standpoint, we've lost Nebraska as the big rival, one of the greatest rivalries in college football.
Absolutely
gone. And even though we say that, and I don't, and most players that played at Oklahoma will tell you it's not a rival, but Oklahoma is trying to keep something that resembles a rival, because if they live the Big 12. Or they don't get into a conference with Texas. That may be what Texas is holding. If y'all go somewhere, we're not going to play you every year. We don't know what the inside things are. So maybe it's Oklahoma trying to hold on to a resemblance of what what Oklahoma has always been.
Right.
I know that the Big 12, with more teams and everything, it made it more difficult. I still think Oklahoma and Nebraska should have sat down at the table and said, we're going to do just like what Oklahoma, Texas did for 100 years. Mm-hmm. We're going to play each other every year. This is one of our non-conference games.
No matter what.
Right. I still think they should sit down and do that.
And that hurt Nebraska, too.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Huge.
I mean, where they're getting the kids from to play.
I mean, it's sad to see that, I would love to see us play Nebraska every year. I don't care if we play, Podunk U and Hodunk U.
Right.
Let's play Nebraska every year. And
Well, the conference was way better when Nebraska was in it.
Missouri.
And not just Nebraska, Missouri, A&M,
Colorado.
and Colorado.
Absolutely.
Now, Colorado, those last few years, they were terrible. But,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, 92, they won the championship, 92, so it's not that long ago.
Yeah, about every 20 years they jumped up.
They
and
had
got-
their flashes.
Yeah, they had, they were good. And then, we've talked about before, Missouri and A&M went in and won their division the first 3 years of the SEC conference. So, and they were middle of the road
Right.
Big 12 teams at that time.
Pretty much.
So, but, I think, but like I said, I think that has something to do with Oklahoma is losing their ties to some of their history, or their playing history. Texas, Nebraska. Hey, we're going to take Oklahoma State. That'll at least keep Bedlam intact. But I think with this new president, that may not be as big a deal.
May not be, but don't we have Nebraska on the schedule in like 2028 or something?
Yeah.
I got the future schedule on my phone.
Yeah. When is it?
We were talking about that yesterday. I can look at it right now if you want. But
We'll all be in walkers and wheelchairs.
as I was thinking, I know the Sooners are coming to Philly to play Temple in 2025, right? I'm like, I'll be 65 years old. Oh, my God. Am I going to be alive around? I didn't know. I had no idea.
Yeah. So
Going to hold out?
just think about it, Rob. I know we're a couple of years older than you. You're not much far behind, but 10, 15 years, we're going to be wheelchairs and scooters.
Good. We're in great shape.
I'd
We're in
take that
great
scooter
shape.
now.
Hey, I would have too. We bought Teresa one. I'll show it to you out in the garage when we got it in. And I didn't get to park where I normally parked at for the first tailgate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had people there.
Ah.
But I got to unload there. And, of course, he told me to go to Lloyd Noble. I was like, where's the closest lot? And, one of the tailgate people said, go across the street. This guy, he lets us park there. But we have a trailer. He charges us $60 a game. I was like, ugh.
Wow.
No, I'm not. But, they got a big truck with a trailer. They bring all their and he said, there's some pay lots around, but it was early. And so nobody was out holding their signs. Just thought about going up knocking on a few doors. Hey, can I pay? But I found a place, and I'm not saying where it's at because nobody's going to get
That's
it.
cool.
But it's not that far away.
Nice.
But it was still far enough away that I'm walking back over there. I was like, damn, I'm going to have to buy a gate, one of those little tray things that carries the scooters. And I'm going to bring the wife's scooter. That thing runs 20 miles an hour.
Nice.
I'm going to buy one of those little bumper attachments and put that sucker on the back, and I'll just wheel back up to the to it. But no, I didn't park too far away. But I'm not going to tell people where it's at because it's my sneak spot now.
Don't give it up.
Yeah.
It's a sweet
You got to
spot.
be careful on some of those because
That's
they
a
will
sweet
tow
spot.
you.
Oh yeah, I know they won't though because I parked right next to a sign that said they wouldn't.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I'll share that sign because I don't want people driving around looking for them. But yeah, I'm keeping that under wraps.
Nice.
It's not too far away, and so. But
It's like your secret fishing hole.
Yeah,
Don't tell anybody where that is. Don't give
Yeah,
that
because
up.
if you rode the shuttle from the Lloyd Noble, it's a long walk from where it drops you off to the tailgate.
Oh yeah, we did that yesterday.
yeah,
did
that's a long walk. So, so before we came in here, started recording. Tell everybody kind of what you did today.
We went down to campus
You're
corner.
finalizing your final day as a.
Well, I told the wife, we don't have to get up too early this morning. You can sleep in a little bit. So that was good. We got up, went down to campus corner, did some shopping.
Dropped a couple of K.
Not that big, but we got up to the register and the guy's ringing it up, and she's standing right behind me. I said, "Turn your head. Don't worry about this. Turn your head." He's like, $1.75. I'm like, okay.
And
I really didn't know I had that many T-shirts in my hand when I came up here, but that's okay.
I was going to say, I thought you may have had a hat and two pairs of socks because.
No. Then after that, we crossed the street, went over to the campus, walked around the stadium, took some pictures, and Heisman Park, took some more pictures, walked around the campus. Saw a lot of kids on scooters.
Yeah.
When you brought that up, it's like, yeah, we saw them today.
Yeah.
You should have got those, but it's my first time there. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Beautiful campus.
Yeah,
beautiful.
They cleaned it up pretty quick after the game too.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Because it's trashed out there after the games. It is.
Yeah, and do they still got the people up there with the blowers? I remember used to after the game, you could hear them with the leaf blowers blowing all the trash.
I really don't know how they do it.
Yeah, but was your seat dry? That's another thing.
Yes, it was.
Okay, no.
Yeah. And while you're on that point, I told somebody I never thought I would have to track a hurricane when I was coming to watch an Oklahoma game in Oklahoma.
Welcome to Oklahoma.
And like the week before I see this hurricane coming up the Gulf, I'm like, no. And every day I'm getting on the Weather Channel app and 60% chance of showers. I'm like, oh, no. And then went down to 20. I'm like, yes.
Well, you had a perfect day.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
It was a beautiful, if the sun would have came out, it'd been a little bit better, but weather-wise.
No.
But I had, I think, the one puddle in the whole stadium under my feet.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it was about that, about a half inch deep. And we met the people that sit next to us. They've got the rest of the tickets, so the people next to us. And they actually tailgate right next to us, too. But she had her daughter with her, and she had hers. And I was like, is this your fault that we have the water underneath our feet? She's like 9 years old. And she goes, no, but every time you stand up, you splash me.
She wasn't holding back.
Me and Terry.
Yeah, because I'd stand up, and I would feel it splash, too. But she was like, every time you stand up, you splash me.
Wow, that's good. She's raised right. Speak your mind, child.
There you go. But, yeah, like you said, I mean, the campus is beautiful, and it's stuff that, when I bring people here, or friends come in, that's what they talk about. And we just end up taking it for granted. It's what it looks like,
right.
And my son's, one of his Army buddies, that gold Steelers helmet up there,
right.
he gave it to me for my birthday.
Beautiful.
And he lives somewhere in New Jersey.
Okay.
And he's an Alabama fan.
Oh, we don't talk about that.
But Vic, his name's Matt Vic, and everybody calls him Vic, and he came down for my birthday one year with my son, and we took him down and walked him around the stadium, and the stadium wasn't done yet. It was, Rob, wouldn't you say about 3/4, maybe 90% done?
It was close.
And he was standing out there, and and I said, so what do you think? And he goes, it's beautiful. And he goes, man, this does not look like a football stadium. Right. He goes, it literally looks like a castle. And he goes, it's the coolest thing I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he was serious about it.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
And I can't imagine being a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid going to all, when you come to Oklahoma, you've been to all the other schools being recruited.
Right.
And walking up to that place and going, oh, my God.
You know what it does? It just speaks to history.
Right. And they celebrate the history. I mean, it's new, but it's still designed like the old building. The Switzer Center still has that kind of historic look to it. You drive past Bud. Is it Benny Owens is the other one?
Bud, Barry, and Bob.
Yeah, and the statues. You've got Heisman Park right there. Yeah. And then you get down to the softball complex. I mean, you've got all the national titles, and they're redoing that again.
Yeah.
They're going to rebuild that whole stadium.
I know.
We get a whole new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just redid it this past year, didn't they?
They did some stuff to it, but they're doing it because of parking.
Yeah, because there's nowhere to.
It's going to be all the way down by the Lloyd Noble Center, right across the street.
Yeah.
So that you can park in the Lloyd Noble parking lot.
Yeah. And the baseball. I mean, the history in baseball and stuff, and one place, and I know you didn't get the old field house, which is just north of the stadium.
I walked across the street.
Yeah, right over by where we were at.
Yeah.
Getting inside there it's one of the coolest buildings in there because it's an old basketball arena, and that's where they do wrestling, volleyball, and gymnastics in there.
The gymnastics is mostly at Lloyd Noble, but wrestling, volleyball for sure.
Yeah, and I think the Sherry's had some games in there some of the women's games just for nostalgic reasons. They played a couple of games in there, not recently, but I know they had in the past.
Yeah.
So is that like Hickory?
Yeah, it's just
a movie.
You just walk in. Team. You walk in. If you go up into it's got an upper, it's got an upper deck or balcony section to it. And this is what I love about old buildings like that. If you go to start walking up those steps, because they're like marble or slate or whatever they are, Granted, they're dented from
yeah.
all the people that have walked up them for years.
Yeah.
The wood inside there, and just you walk in there, you see, 1930, 40. This was the epic, gymnasium back then.
Yeah, it was probably big time back then.
Yeah,
The craftsmanship.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, big time.
And to be in that facility during like a wrestling duel is just, it's amazing.
Okay.
I mean, and we talked about that with Paul and Wallace, is if you ever get a chance, go to a wrestling meet, go to a duel match. I mean, it's fun. I don't know if you know a whole lot about college wrestling, or it's funny watching the crowd because everybody's doing this, when people aren't doing moves. Everybody's, very animated during the thing. But there's just so much history, not just athletic history, but, school history.
Absolutely.
Academic history in this place. It's amazing.
Yes,
they've done a great job. But
he said he went up to the great reading room today.
Yeah.
So that
was someone told me you must go into the library, and
you walked out smarter, right?
Don't know about that. I seen pictures of the great room.
Oh, really?
And we were very quiet. We opened the door.
Yeah,
the kids in there studying. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Did any part of you want to go Boomer while you're in there?
I was like, wow.
Just something about that room. You just, it's like you can see people going shh.
Yeah.
In that room. So.
That's cathedral.
Yeah.
Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So, you got plenty of pictures, right?
Oh yeah.
You spent, $175 on stuff, so you're good.
Today.
Geared up.
Just today.
You're geared up.
Well, my wife always says, you don't need another Sooner shirt. You have too many Sooner shirts. I said, no, hon. There's no such thing as too many Sooner shirts. No, you don't understand. How many do you need? As many as I want.
I'm blessed with with my wife. Is you're sitting here in the room with all the Steelers memorabilia and Sooners memorabilia. A lot of it, is thanks to Rob. Has helped me, find stuff and things like that. But
it's beautiful.
I'll get something, or I will start to get something, and she'll be like, do we really need another football? Do you really need another this or that? But yet she always ends up getting me, because I tell her, just buy me something, like your wife was telling her. Yeah. It's easy for Christmas, Oklahoma. That's all I got.
That's like you telling her.
Never have too many OU football helmets. That's for sure.
Oh no. But it's she is. I'm not going to say buckles in, but she's always like, oh okay. Or if she sees something, she'll pick it up.
Well, she knows that makes you happy.
Oh yeah,
so.
and it's stuff that what people don't understand. I mean, you look in here. There's some stuff that's worth money. Okay, and I'm not worth a whole lot of money. But a lot of this stuff came from garage sales.
Okay.
Came from people handing me stuff. You don't have to go spend a fortune to have cool stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's most of my Steeler stuff. When we went to Pittsburgh, I got at the Dollar Tree.
Okay.
And looking at it, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. Nope, it came from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of our first stops.
And it cost $1.
One of our first stops was the Salvation Army and Goodwill.
There you
trying to get some, off-the-rack Sooner stuff, we didn't want anymore, but.
Yeah. I mean, and I tell people.
There's no shame in that.
Conway, who's from Arizona, came by and stayed the night with us, him and his girlfriend. And, of course, he wanted to go down on Campus Corner, and he did on last, what day was it? I can't remember when it was. But anyway, his girlfriend was wanting to get some stuff for her son, and I was like, Walmart. I mean,
yeah.
Most of my OU stuff, I mean, I got some Nike gear that I get for Christmas and stuff, but I do most of my Sooner shopping at Walmart, and I am not ashamed of it.
That's one of our stops we had too. We went there a couple times this weekend. Walmart.
They got some
Amazon.
I'm
telling you, I'm the biggest online shopper you ever met.
Rob even shops for groceries now online.
I certainly do. I certainly do.
But well, I mean, look, Bill, it's great. I'm glad you came by.
Thanks for the invite.
I'm sorry I didn't think about it yesterday when you were there. I was like, man, he's probably going to have a full slate of stuff.
No, I was just laying in bed. I couldn't sleep this morning, and then see a tweet go off on my phone. I'm like, wow, really? That's awesome. I mean, it's like icing on the cake for the weekend.
Well,
absolutely.
Hey,
Thank you.
You bet. I mean, we just thought it would be a great story for everybody to hear.
Yeah.
Because, and there's a lot of Sooner fans out there across the country that, we've talked to that have never got to come here yet. Mm-hmm. There's some, I know they're coming for the Army game, that it's their first time to an OU game. But it's neat to hear those stories like yours that you've been a fan from afar for so long. Had you gone to any Sooner game before this
first one?
Okay, I wasn't sure if you'd been to another one, so you got to come to.
Oh yeah,
or as the players call it, Nompton. I don't, that's I don't know what that means. But
Norman and Compton.
Yeah, Norman and Compton.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
Yeah, but you got to come down here and see the facilities. We're glad that you made us a part of your trip.
I'm so glad to be here. Absolutely
you
thrilled.
came by the tailgate. And, that you came by here. I mean, because I wasn't sure if you're going to be able to, but I think all the fans, that listen to the podcast will enjoy it.
I hope so.
Rob, you got anything else you want to add? Okay, you can't. Really. We can't hear. You wonder where Rhett got it.
I had to say one thing.
Okay.
How did we lose to Iowa State last year? I was thinking that this morning. How in the hell did we lose to that game?
Well, here's the thing again, the stripe to stadium bothered me. Here's the thing that bothers me about Iowa State. Their quarterback got hurt this week. Their quarterback disappeared. I think he was Houdini last year. He walked off the face of the earth. Yeah. But are they going to put a linebacker back there again and thump us?
Oh, man.
Not this defense.
No.
Not this.
Yeah, Iowa State. I mean, credit to them.
Absolutely.
They beat us. It was a fluke. I'm sorry, it was a fluke. We got behind. Gave them. It just goes to show you could give a toddler a little bit of momentum. And PJ Mills talked about it last week. When we were talking about the Syracuse game he was in. He got the ball knocked out going into the end zone and didn't get a touchdown out of it. Oklahoma had 24-0 with 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Had to come from behind and win that game 30-29. And PJ was like, if you don't think momentum changes a game, you're crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's exactly what happened with Iowa State. And I'm sorry, it happened with Georgia too.
Yeah,
squib kick. I mean.
And I was watching the TCU game from last year.
Yeah.
Our last play before halftime.
Yeah,
it was a squib kick.
Yep. I think
that's gone.
I think Lincoln's learned the lesson. So,
I don't understand that. We were kicking the ball out of the end zone.
Yeah, don't give them a chance.
No.
I think his thought was let it bounce around and run a little bit of time off the clock. But
keep the pedal to the floor. That's what I say.
All right, well, guys, that's the podcast for today. We hope you enjoyed Bill from South Jersey.
Thank you.
So, and we need to get you a shirt made up that says, South Jersey Sooner or something.
There we go.
That.
Cool. Cool. I might have to change my handle.
Cool. But we appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Tomorrow on tomorrow's podcast, we'll have the gentleman from the Iowa State Fan Podcast. So be sure and
do they have a clever name like What's Brewing?
No, they don't have. What's Brewing was a cool name.
Was cool. Yeah.
I think it's I just think it's Cyclone's podcast or something.
Why do they have a bird as a cyclone?
I don't know. That's a good
question for me.
Yeah, good. That's a good. Thanks, Bill.
I never understood that. They got like a cardinal and then the cyclones.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a cardinal caught in a tornado. So that's a good one.
All right.
But yeah, I don't think he has a cool name like What's Brewing and Inside the Burrow.
Inside the Burrow, yeah, that was pretty cool.
But I think it's just a Big 12 Iowa State because he's part of the Big 12 podcasting group. So,
okay. All right.
But we'll do that. And then on Thursday's podcast for the tailgate, we'll have our regular folks on. And Rufus Alexander is going to be on the podcast this week. Rufus. So
talk about some swag.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about some swag. And
right there, that man.
We're going to find out, what it was like to hear your name chanted by, 90,000 people. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, folks, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Bill. Boomer. Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Hit the subscribe button right now on whatever app you're listening to download every episode as they come out. Check us out on Twitter, and Facebook and on YouTube. Boomer Sooner.